who the starting quarterback's going to be or who's in the lead or anything like that at all. And when the depth chart came out, so-and-so number one, so-and-so number two, all of a sudden articles were written that so-and-so is going to be the starting quarterback or he's going to be in the lead when camp begins, and that's not true. So, one of the advantages of social media is that you can get a message out pretty quick, and I sent the message out and it got retweeted so fast, it was unbelievable, but at least 160,000 people saw it, so, and that's without retweeting, so who knows how many people saw it. But the big thing is, we've got a healthy competition going on. We've got gentlemen that have the skill set to win the job, and we'll see who wins.
My question is, our offensive and defensive linemen seem to have lost a considerable amount of weight over since last season, and I know that's better to defend against spread, but I'm concerned that we won't have the strength at the point of attack for conventional running game, and conversely, our offensive line will be able to push at short yardage or red zone situations.
That's a great point. We have trimmed up. There's no doubt about it. That goes back to Coach Hockey, our strength coach, and the volume of running that these guys are doing. And we are not a fat team at all. But just because you trim down doesn't mean you lose strength. Size doesn't always equate to strength. Now, it's harder to move a bigger man, as you say, no doubt. But if a guy's in great condition and can play harder, play after play after play, then you have a chance to sustain throughout a ball game. Where if you got a guy that's maybe bigger and more massive, but he can only play hard for so long, then all of a sudden as he gets fatigued, all of a sudden you start rolling him off the ball. That can be problematic as well. But we are lighter than we have been for a while up front defensively. Offensively, I don't worry so much about it because there's a lot of running and pulling and hitting and pass protection. You've got to have that quickness and all. And if you get a hat on the right person offensively and you fight like mad with the guys even the size we have, not that we're super small by any stretch, or we're not quite as big as we've been, you can provide space for the great backs that we have and the quarterbacks that will be in the pocket. So, but that's why you continue to recruit. We're going to have to rely on some young people to help us on the defensive front end in particular, and ask some of the veterans to toe the line until they grow up.
Do you expect a lot of incoming freshmen to have an impact?
I think there's going to be a lot of freshmen that, there's a couple of first-year players. Chukwuemeka is one of them. I think there'll be some guys that will come in and play for us. They'll be in our 2D for sure. We don't just play one group. We like to substitute. We like to rotate guys, keep them fresh as possible, and keep them healthy too. Good guys.
How do you approach the Auburn Tigers this year at home?
How do we approach them?
How do you attack them?
Our goal is to play a real physical brand of football, both sides of the ball, and they like to pride themselves in that as well. So I think it'll be another battle royal. It's a great rival game. We have so many rival teams that we play, and they're one of them. That, obviously the greatest rivalry in the South as far as the number of games played against each other. And it's been a very even series, but we'll approach it like every other game. We'll go GATA, which means get after them aggressively. We'll do our best.
My question for you, Coach Richt, could you give us a couple of small nuances, just small ones, between Coach Bobo and Coach Scheidler? And then whoever runs this shindig, he's only got a few years left, but I think you ought to bring Vince New in this place.
I don't know.
Ought to do what with Vince, with Coach Dooley?
Bring him here and let him say hello to everybody.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Coach
idea.
Dooley, bring him.
That's a good idea.
He's only got a few years
We're
left.
just going to just shit me and let's get it right.
We're going to put that down. That's a great idea.
Well, you know what? Coach Bobo, I would say, is that both of their fathers were coaches. Coach Bobo's father, a high school ball, old school ball coach. Coach Bobo was a relatively young guy, but he's old school to beat in his toughness and just how he goes about his business. Coach Schottenheimer is, his dad coached professional his entire career, and that's kind of where he grew up. And so he's very strong in his knowledge of the NFL system and things of that nature, which we pretty much run an NFL system. So philosophically, both coaches believe in the same thing as far as how to go about, putting together a game plan and things of that nature. That's part of the reason why we hired Coach Schottenheimer. But I think a lot remains to be seen, and just see how these guys are in action. But both of them, I think in coaching, it's one thing I learned from Coach Bowden is he said, you got to be who you are. You can't try to be somebody else. You just, because players will see if you're not genuine in a heartbeat, and people see it. So if you're going to try to sell your program and sell yourself, you got to be who you are. It's just like some people, in 2002 when we won the SEC championship, they thought my demeanor was off the chain. They loved it. It was unbelievable. Then if you go a year 7-6 and your demeanor's the same, like I hate that demeanor. It stinks. But I think you got to be true to who you are, and those guys are true to who they are, and I think they're both obviously highly successful coaches. And thankfully, Georgia's the kind of place that attracts those type of men.